Big news last night in the world of gaming, but was it a game changer? Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the News Hub. I'm Kelsey Hubbard. Thanks for watching WSJ Live. Well, Sony reinvents its PlayStation video game console to counter stiff competition from the web and mobile devices. Ian Sherr joins me now with more on this. And Ian, you were there, you saw it, but not really because they didn't have it. So tell us what was really distinctive about this new PlayStation that they revealed.
Well, basically, it's got much better chips in it. It's much faster. It's able to do everything kind of bigger, sexier, faster, right? And some of the other things that they did is they're trying to kind of counter the mobile device revolution that's happened in the last 7 years since they came out with the last PlayStation. So they're going to include touch controls on the controller now. It's going to have buttons, but also a touchpad. They have a lot of sharing involved. The social is a huge thing for this thing, and a lot of the executives have said this is the real kind of killer thing about it.
The social media aspect.
Social media aspect. So you're going to be able to take like in-game video, right? As you're playing, you can take information from there. It's recording all the time, and you can say just send that to Facebook, right? They're going to make it so that it's easier to connect with your friends, and then they're also going to have apps for your mobile devices like the iPhone and all that to allow you to kind of connect when you're not playing the PlayStation. Okay. So those are really big things.
And I mentioned when we intro that you didn't actually get to see the device because they didn't actually unveil the actual console. How unusual is that for announcements like this?
I mean, it's definitely a little unusual. You know, we got to see the controller. We got to see kind of one of the camera systems they're going to allow for motion controls and everything. Not seeing the box was a little weird, but you know, at the end of the day, in 4 months we'll see it probably, and then everyone will forget that we didn't see it.
So you mentioned this will be out by the holidays. Is there enough that you think was revealed to hold people's interest that long? Is this going to be the game changer that Sony needs to really get back in and put them on top? They've been out of it for about, what, 7 years now?
Well, they haven't been out of it, but that's the last time they released one. Yeah, I mean, it's a really good question. I think that a lot of people really don't know. I mean, this is, the industry's never been through this kind of thing where they have these devices that we're all carrying in our pockets going after them. And the reality is that Apple, for example, announced that they'd sold more than 500 million units since 2007. In that same period, the entire game industry has sold fewer consoles than just Apple has sold mobile devices. Wow. So there's a lot that they're going up against. And the reality is that the games on these mobile devices are cheaper, a lot more people are playing them. And it's not to say the consoles are dying, because that's certainly not the case, but it may not be growing much anymore. PricewaterhouseCoopers has been saying that they expect the console game industry, right, just the games, to grow about 4% over in the next year or so. Oh, wow. So that's, you know, compared to in 2007 when it grew 28%. Right. I mean, it's a big difference.
Big difference there. And is there any indication that Google's purchase of, Sony's purchase of the cloud gaming company last year will have any play in this, and what role that might play?
It's a huge part. So one of the other things is that the technology behind this sharing stuff is partially that. And then some of the other stuff they're doing is that they're going to allow you to actually stream games from their servers. So the idea is that you can play a game on a server that's very powerful, and you don't need to have a very powerful thing in your home to be able to play it. And so they're going to try and make it so that you can stream games to all sorts of different devices. They're also taking their Vita, which is a handheld that hasn't done as well as people had hoped, and they're going to make that be able to play PlayStation 4 games too. So suddenly we have this mobile device that can do very powerful things, even though it doesn't have that much power in it.
All right, so bottom line, you know, we're going to look for this in the holidays. We still don't know the price, but from what you've seen, it could be a really big boost for Sony.
It could definitely help them. It really depends on how it plays out.
All right, so also in some tech news, Google did have an announcement yesterday. They announced some touchscreen laptops. Tell us what we know.
I don't think they announced them yet, but basically what's happening is that Google is basically taking its Chrome operating system, right, which has been kind of a slow starter, right? It's not like Android, which mobile devices have been going huge, and it's one of the largest, or rather the largest mobile operating system in the world. Chrome is basically based off that web browser that we've all downloaded, and basically what it'll do is that these touchscreen laptops are kind of like, if you've seen what's been done for Windows 8, where you have a normal laptop, but you can also touch the screen. That's kind of where this is headed. And so, you know, it's really kind of unclear how it's going to play out. I think last time that I heard that they sold some 100,000 Chrome books, right, which is not that many, right? But during the holidays. But there's still a kind of, you know, Google sees a long-term value here.
Yeah. All right. Well, interesting stuff. Thanks so much for joining us and bringing it here in New York. We're sending you back out to the West Coast this afternoon. We appreciate you being here.
My pleasure.